Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
You're supporting murder!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire
It is time to reject AIPAC. As Jews, we envision a thriving future for all in Israel-Palestine and here in the United States. A future where Palestinians and Jews live in genuinely equal, just, and free society without fear of violence, apartheid, and occupation. In order for this future to be a reality, we need an immediate ceasefire. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
We need a ceasefire, we need a hostage exchange, and we need an end to the siege on Gaza. But AIPAC stands in the way of this vision and enables Israel's massacres in Gaza to continue. AIPAC is actively lobbying for billions of dollars more in weapons funding for Israel to continue its massacre and blockade of Palestinians in Gaza. AIPAC is lobbying for the U.S. to continue to provide unconditional diplomatic support for Israel's genocidal assault on Gaza in the international community when we need the Biden administration to put pressure on the Israeli government to reach a ceasefire deal. AIPAC and their allied PACs like the Democratic Majority for Israel are also spending, over $100 million to defeat the leaders who have been calling for a ceasefire and to condemn Israel's massacre of Palestinians in Gaza. The U.S. cannot provide money for weapons to an Israeli government that has made clear its intentions to wreak as much destruction on Gaza as possible, even at the expense of Israelis who are still being held hostage.
My name is Lilly. I'm an American Jew. I'm a member of IfNotNow DC. I grew up in San Diego, California. In my community growing up, support for the state of Israel and being Jewish were inseparable. And I love being Jewish. The community has always been a huge part of my life. I went to day school. I participated in service projects and advocacy through Jewish organizations. I, in high school, genuinely enjoyed Torah study, and I chose to do it in my free time. And it also, that same community led me to AIPAC. It was a natural fit. I was political and passionate. I fought hard for the causes I believed in. And with AIPAC, I saw other Jewish students doing the same. I attended policy conference over 5 times between high school and college, participated in student events like Saban and the Progressive Student Retreat, and I led the AIPAC affiliate group on my college campus. And at the time, I believed that I was doing right by the community that raised me, and I thought this was where my Jewish values pointed. But that changed as I got older and my world got bigger. I met Palestinians and Palestinian Americans. I I worked abroad with Palestinian refugees, and I saw the injustice of occupation up close in Israel-Palestine. I saw checkpoints, walls, and listened to my friends, Palestinian friends, tell me stories of violence and separation that broke my heart. I had been taught that Jewish safety meant isolation, that we had to look out for ourselves because history taught us that no one else would. But as I cultivated relationships with new people and with Palestinians, I came to realize that my safety and theirs was intertwined. In 2016, I was a freshman in college when Donald Trump spoke at the AIPAC policy conference, and I was horrified. I thought, how could a group that supposedly stood for Jewish safety, for my safety, lend their platform to someone who had emboldened anti-Semites and Nazis? It was a slap in the face, and it made me start to question AIPAC's role in my community and in my life. I knew in that moment that I had to respond somehow, so I joined a group of other students, rabbis, and community members who walked out of Trump's speech. It was not received well by the community and by the folks in that building right now. And it was the first time I took a public stand against AIPAC. It wouldn't be the last. As scary as it was in that moment, it was also exhilarating. It was a watershed moment for me. It was the first spark of a new understanding about my faith, about my values, and about the life that I wanted to lead. So right now, each of us are in a similar watershed moment. We are reminded every single day that the fate of Jews and Palestinians, that our safety, our political freedom, our very future is intertwined. And it's clearer than ever that AIPAC doesn't have the answer. They call for more weapons without a thought for lasting peace, with no mind towards the unspeakable violence done to Palestinians in Gaza. They endorse racist political candidates here at home, people who trumpet anti-Semitic views and threaten the safety of American Jews. They don't have what we need for this moment, for the world that we want to build. I think our Jewish education provides a better template. In school, I learned that Israel is not a nation or a noun. It's a verb that means to wrestle with God. And now is the time for us to wrestle. We've been told that safety is a scarce resource, that safety for some means occupation for others. And we have to reject that. We have to fight for a thriving future for Israelis, Palestinians, American Jews, and all of our neighbors. And I know that we can build it together. The first step in that work is rejecting AIPAC and their extremist, dangerous agenda. To my fellow Jews, my loved ones, my community that raised me, I call on you to join me in rejecting AIPAC and fighting for a future built by peace, safety, and compassion. As the Jewish poet and activist Aurora Levine's Morales, who I love very dearly, wrote it best, we cannot cross until we carry each other. Jews, please join me in rejecting AIPAC today.
AIPAC also endangers American Jews and other marginalized communities here by backing far-right candidates whose platform supports white nationalists. AIPAC has thrown its weight behind over 100 insurrectionists, some of whom have endorsed the anti-Semitic and racist Great Replacement theory, all because they're willing to vote for unconditional military funding for Israel.
Shame! Shame! You got it? No, hold it.
AIPAC's support of this anti-democratic agenda puts Jews and other marginalized communities in danger and upholds white nationalism in the U.S.
Shame! Shame!
AIPAC's violent agenda has enabled and abetted the displacement of 1.5 million Palestinians and the murder of over 30,000 Palestinians. On average, over 200 Palestinians are murdered every day.
Shame! Shame!
Today is the second day of Ramadan, and we are acknowledging that our Muslim siblings who are being forced to celebrate their holiest month of the year while enduring genocide. In order to ground more deeply ourselves in the lived experiences of Palestinians who are suffering through this tragedy, I want to invite Meher to come read If I Must Die by Rafa'at Al-Arir, a Palestinian poet who was killed by Israeli violence. AIPAC is fundamentally rejecting Jewish values, fundamentally rejecting the value of the sacredness of life by perpetuating perpetuating and abetting war and genocide. AIPAC is rejecting Jewish values. We are here representing the Jewish values, the sacredness of life. It is our teaching that we do not wage war. We are praying for the hostages still captive in Gaza, the Palestinians held by the Israeli military, and all of their families waiting anxiously, desperate for their release. May we find the strength and courage to continue to fight for an end to this violence. Not another nickel! Every time! No more money for Israel's crimes! Not another nickel! Not another dime! No more money for Israel's crimes! When I say ceasefire, you say no! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! When I say genocide, you say no! Genocide! No! Genocide! No! Ceasefire now! 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 No more genocide! No more genocide! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
No more money for Israel's crimes! Not another nickel! Not another dime! No more money for Israel's crimes!
Not another dime.
When I say ceasefire, you say no! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! As American Jews, we steadfastly reject AIPAC. We all need to stay in the fight and keep raising hell until we get a ceasefire. Until the siege on Gaza ends, until AIPAC has no place in the Democratic Party or our Jewish institutions. If Not Now is going to continue this fight for months to come. To get involved with If Not Now DC and our local organizing, and more specifically reject AIPAC, text If Not Now to 877-401-7257. Thank you all for being here with us today. When I say ceasefire, you say no. Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! Ceasefire! No! Thank you all. We've been here yelling at these folks who are on their way to go lobby for more violent crimes in Israel. I think they've heard us.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
One more shame. Ready? Shame! I think they've heard us. We'll keep up the pressure, keep up the fight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.